So in this tutorial, today what we are going to cover is we'll start with wherever we left, that is Guru 99 project. In that we what we did was invoking Guru 99 website, demo.guru99 website, and after that we did a login. And after login, next what we have to do is we need to add a customer in it. Okay, so if you recall the website which we start automated yesterday, let me open it. Yeah. So the credentials which were working for it. So these were the credentials which were working. Now, when I click on this new customer was a link. We saw yesterday that this was a link, and how a link is identified by an anchor tag. What is this href? Href is is one of the attribute which is equal to the address where you will be navigated to once you click on it. And then we have this new customer is the link text associated with it. So we saw that to identify link and to interact with them, we have two things. One is link text and second is partial link text. So here if you'll see, when we added the customer, when we clicked on this new customer, we used by dot link text. Okay, then
Sir,
next, yes Jishan.
can you show this web page where you're showing the element and
Yeah, sorry, what should I do?
can you zoom that web element
Okay.
so that
Just
we can see
just give
which
me a second.
ID you're so
Okay, just give
yeah,
me a second.
this one.
Fine now? Is it fine now?
Yeah, it is fine now.
Okay, so here you can see that it's an anchor tag with an href attribute. Href is the address where it will be navigated to once you click on it. So here you can see add customer range, add customer page.php. So it is actually calling one PHP page internally. And then we have this new customer. This new customer is the link text. Okay, now once I click on this new customer, this form appears. Now next step is we need to fill up this form. Okay, so one of the thing why I stopped yesterday was because this gender we see here, we have two radio buttons. We need to select one out of two. So if either I can select male or either I can select female. So if I check the HTML code of this, you'll find that for both male and for female, both are of input type. Then name attribute, if you'll see, one has red one, another one also has red one. Then if you look at value are different and type are again same. So only difference is this value, but value is not a locator available in XPath. Sorry, value is not a locator available in Selenium. So we are left with only two options. One was CSS selector and second is XPath. So let me quickly recap that. I'll just go to QA Tech Hub. Yeah. So here you can see that locators or identifiers which are available in Selenium are these: ID, name, class name, tag name, link text, partial link text, CSS and XPath. So first three, as I told you, this should be available as an attribute, but here you can see that none of the attribute is available, only name is available, which is also not unique because both of them are identified with same name. So we cannot use name as well. ID is not there, class name is not there, tag name is this, the first one which you see, this input. Here you see input. So these are tags, and here also you can see that there are multiple input tags. In fact, there are many input tags, so tag name we cannot use at all. Generally, tag name is very rarely used. I'll give you some examples where we can use, but it's generally the least used locator. Then we have link text and partial link text. So link text and partial link text both are used for links, and that is not a link, so we cannot use link text and partial link text as well. Then we are left with two options. One is CSS and second is XPath. So CSS stands for Cascade Style Sheet, and CSS is something which we'll learn later. It's something which again cannot be used on this website. Reason I'll explain you later. So we are left with only one option, that is XPath. So let's try the XPath. Let's learn XPath so that we can identify one of the two locators here. Okay, so if I'll talk about XPath, so what is an XPath? Let me open. Yeah. Okay. So what is an XPath? I've given a small definition of it. XPath is one of the essential identifier. Okay, from here we'll start. XPath is the path written using HTML tags or XML tags and their attributes to reach to a particular node or web element in an HTML page or an XML page. So this is the definition of small definition of XPath. What it is saying, it is the path written using HTML tags or XML tags, any one of the two. So XPath are not only written for HTML pages, they are also written for XML pages. But for us, we are more interested in HTML tags, so I'll talk about HTML only here. And their attributes. So attributes, I just told you what are they, like the extra information which you pass along with the tag name. That is what attributes are. Okay, to reach to a particular node in an HTML page. So there are two types of XPath. One is absolute XPath and second is relative XPath. Now what is the difference? Absolute XPath. Absolute XPath starts from the beginning of the page. Beginning means the starting of the page. As in an HTML page, the first tag is HTML, so all absolute XPaths always starts with HTML tag and then access immediate child to reach to a particular node. For this, I'll give you an example. Here is the XPath. As I told you, absolute XPath is something which starts from the beginning of the page. So here also you can see that the absolute XPath starts from the beginning of the page. It starts from HTML. Then we are accessing its immediate child by a single slash HTML, then a single slash which is uh, body. So body will be immediate child of HTML. Similarly, and then we are saying slash table. So table is immediate child of body. Then we have tbody. Tbody is immediate child of table, and so on. Like this XPath is written. Okay, I'll try to give you an example here. Let's say I just want to write the XPath of this particular radio button only. So for that, what you have to do is go to this fire path. Okay, there is another tab known as fire path. Just go through that. Here you can practice. Here you can see that XPath is written. Okay, Jishan, can you hear me now? Sandhya, can you hear?
Yes, Saurabh, I can hear you.
Okay, Jishan, what happened to Jishan? Just a second, Sandhya. Let me fix this. He's not able to hear me. Jishan, can you hear me now? Okay, he'll rejoin. So let me continue then. So I was discussing that we have this firepath. In firepath, here we have an option of either using XPath or CSS. Sizzle is something I'm not sure what exactly it is. So we'll be working on these two, XPath and CSS. So I'll go to CSS. Now, whatever web element you have to search, just select the second thing, okay, and hover around. Now here, if I'll come, I selected this mail. Now look at the XPath which has appeared. So this is an example of XPath where you can see, as it's an absolute XPath, so you can see that it is starting from the starting of the page. If we talk about the definition of XPath, what it says is, it says that absolute XPath starts from the beginning of the page. As in an HTML page, the first tag is HTML, so all absolute XPath always starts with HTML tag, and then they access their immediate child to reach to a particular node. So here also you can see, uh, when I'm selecting this, here when I'm selecting this, you can see that it starts with an HTML tag, then access their immediate child. How we are calling it an immediate child. So here you can see that this is my HTML, starting of the HTML. In this HTML, it has two tags in it. One is head tag and second is body tag. So head is first tag and body is for second tag. But you can see that they are its immediate child. Immediate means, uh, I mean the next uh, web elements. Okay, as a child. Now in the body we have table. So if I open this body, then you can see that there are many tags, and one of the tag as immediate child is this table. So this div is an immediate child, this div is an immediate child, but this div is not an immediate child because this div lies inside another div. So this is not an immediate child. Then this table is an immediate child, and this p is an immediate child. So we are interested in this table. So if I open this table, you will see that inside this there is one T body as immediate child. So here we have the T body. If we open the T body, you can see, in T body we have TR. So here you can see that we have TR, then we have TD. So here is the TD. Now if I open that, there is a table in TD, that there is a table. Inside table again there is a T body, and then if you open it, there are many rows. Okay, see the number is 5. That means I'm looking for fifth row. So fifth row is 1 2 3 4 5. That means I'm reaching here. So this is the row I'm looking for. If I open it, it has a couple of TDs. Which one I'm looking for? I'm looking for the second one. So if I open first, second, then in that second, you can see that there are two inputs. This is the first one and this is the second one. So if you want male, then it will give you the first one. If if you change this number to 2, then you can see it is the second one. So second radio button is highlighted. Okay, so this is how you will write an absolute XPath. Jason, can you hear now?
Yes, now I can. I don't know what's wrong with internet and during the weekend, maybe some peak timing. I don't know.
Okay, fine. So
I missed the whole XPath.
yeah, I'll just give you a small recap. So you missed from the start, right?
Yes, I missed from the start, right from where you were starting about the XPath. So,
Okay. So what is an XPath? XPath is one of the locator available in Selenium, but it's a standard to reach to a particular node, which not only Selenium but other tools as well are also use it. Okay. So if I talk about what is the definition of XPath, XPath is the path written using HTML tags or XML tags. So this XPath is written for HTML as well as for XML. It is used for both and their attributes. So it also uses their attributes to reach to a particular node or web element in an HTML page or an XML page. Okay, there are two types of XPaths. One is absolute XPath and second is relative XPath. Absolute XPath starts from the beginning of the page. Okay, uh, it means beginning of the page means if you look at any HTML page. Okay, let me open it. If you look at any HTML page, that always starts with an HTML tag. So the XPath, absolute XPath we are talking about, they will also start from the starting of the page. So here you can see there is one of the example where the XPath starts with an HTML. Then we have something known as single slash. Single slash we put to access immediate child of that parent tag. So what are the immediate child? If you look at this HTML page, if we go here, if you look at this HTML page, this has an HTML. Now this HTML has two immediate child. Immediate child means their first child. Okay, so head and body are the immediate child. So if you go to this firepath link here, here you can from the drop down you can select the XPath option and then hover around. Let's say I was looking for this. So when I click on it, you can see uh, here we have it has created one absolute XPath for it. Look at this. This page starts with an HTML tag. Then it has two immediate child. One is body and second is one is head and second is body. Now where we want to go? We want to access one of its immediate child, that is body. So this HTML has two immediate child. One of them is body. So if I open this body, you can see that there is one another immediate child, that is table. So here you can see that in the body we have many uh, many immediate child, like this div is one immediate child, this another div, then this table and p. So which one we are looking for? We are looking for table. So this is the table. Then inside that table we have t body. So here you can see table has an immediate child as t body. Then like this we have then tr td, another table, t body. So if you look at here is that t body I just mentioned, this t body. Okay, inside this top t body we have again we have trs. So trs, here are the trs. Which tr we are looking for? We are looking for fifth one. So if see which one is the fifth one, 1 2 3 4. Okay, and then this 5. So this is the fifth one, and inside that you can see both male and female radio buttons are there. This is gender, and then what we are looking for? We are looking for the second row, second column. So this is tr means row and td means column. So td we have two input tags. Which one we are looking for? If we keep it one, then it will be male. If we just change it to uh, two, it will become female. Okay, so you can see female radio button is highlighted as well. So this is one of the example of absolute XPath. It always starts with an HTML tag and we use single slash to access their immediate child. Clear? Any questions in this?
Yeah, so only Firepath provide that XPath.
Yes, Firepath is the only tool which provides XPath to you. Don't worry about it. We'll not be using absolute XPath at all. We'll be writing our own XPath. The reason why we cannot use this absolute XPath is because they are very prone to change. So here you can see that we are using each and every tag to reach to a particular element. Now just imagine that something changes in between. In between this body and table, let's say one heading comes in between, or some division come in between these two, or instead of second row it was moved to third row, or instead of this first column it was moved to some fourth column. If a small change happens anywhere in one of the element of the XPath you're using, one of the tag you're using, then your complete XPath will break. That means you cannot rely on absolute XPath. In that case, we have something known as relative XPath. Now, what is relative XPath? Relative XPath is something which starts from anywhere on the page. Okay, before I jump on to relative XPath, any questions from absolute XPath? Is it clear that how we are
No, it's fine.
writing? Sorry, Jason.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, Sandhya, you have any question?
No, Saurabh.
Okay, Then I'll jump on to relative XPath. Now what is relative XPath? Relative XPath is something which starts from anywhere on the page. Anywhere on the page means randomly from somewhere it will start. And it uses double slash to access the parent to child any access sorry, it uses double slash to use to access any child of the parent tag. I'll give you example here. As I told you that single slash is used to access immediate child, right? Now what if here single slash, instead of single slash, if I'll remove all the single slashes, if I remove some of the single slashes and some of the tag, then also same alignment is getting searched. Why? Because this double slash is used to access some child of this HTML. So somewhere it looked for this table. So in this HTML it started looking. So here it opened this, then it found this table. Okay, then it went inside this table T body. Then it searched for the fifth row. Fifth row was not there, so it left this table, searched for uh, it left this table and searched for another. So it inside this tr it found another table, and in that table it had that fifth row. So the traversing which happens searches each and every tag to reach to a particular tag. Okay, so this is I'm just telling you about this double slash. Double slash is to access any child. Now if we talk about the relative XPath, as I told you, relative XPath is something which starts anywhere on the page. That means it will never start with uh, single slash. Rather, it will never start with single slash or HTML tag. It will start from double slash. Okay. Then, if we talk about the syntax, basic syntax of relative XPath, this is the basic syntax. It is double slash, then HTML tag name, then in the square bracket, you're passing an attribute and its value. Okay, that attribute can be any random attribute. Not necessary it should be ID name or class name, it can be any attribute, be it ID, be it name, be it value, be it type. Something which makes your element unique can be used here. So I'll try to give you an example. Here I'm saying double slash input, and just writing this I press enter. Look at what gets highlighted on the screen. If you look at there, so many things gets highlighted. That means there are uh, these many input type of tags are there. Okay, and here you can see I have clicked the highlighted. That's why they are getting highlighted as well. And if here you look at, there are 12 matching nodes. So this also tells you how many input type of tags are there. Okay, so yesterday I was mentioning that tomorrow I'll explain you how to verify whether a particular element is unique or not. So this is the way how you will get to know. Just select the element, just type the XPath. Okay, and if you're getting more than one matching node, that means your uh, XPath is not unique. Okay, or if you want to use ID, then you can pass that ID attribute. That also will verify that your element is not unique. Okay, now here what we want these two radio buttons, right? One of these two radio buttons. So recall the HTML tag of this mail radio button. Okay, so if I just simply go here, look at this. These two are of input type of tags, and they have one of the attribute known as value, which is unique. So here, what we'll do, we'll say double slash input, but as soon as I press enter, I'm getting 12 matching nodes. So how will we make it unique? By passing one of the attribute, and the attribute which we have is value. So I'll say value equal to whatever is the value. Say if I put F, female gets highlighted. If we put M, male gets highlighted. So this is a way where you can identify a particular web element which has which where none of the other locator is unique. Okay, so did you
How
get,
do we know about the value?
sorry?
How do we know about the value? This is
Here
the
you can see the
value, and
here,
this
here you can see now.
because developers will create this web page, and we will be given to test it.
hmm
So
So when you
for
are
that, we will click
yeah,
that field,
so when you will be
and then
given
we'll go.
yeah, like I'll explain what happens is, see, this is the application. Now it's developed and is provided to you. Now it's in your control, and now you want to check how you can identify it. Okay, so the first thing what you have to do is always go to HTML tag. Okay, this HTML column, then select this and hover around. Whatever element you're looking for, select that. Look at its HTML code. This HTML code is input, which it has an attribute name, it has another attribute value, and third attribute type equal to radio. See if you have any of the locator available. So out of those 8 locators, first 4 are available directly. ID, name, class name, tag name. Let's start with the tag name. Does tag name unique? No. Tag name, there are multiple input tags, so we cannot use tag name. We're left with 3. Do we have ID? No, we don't have ID. So leave the ID. Do we have class name? No, we don't have class name. Leave class name. Then do we have name? Yes, we have name, but name is also not unique. Both of them have same name. That means I cannot use name as well. Then you are left with only one option, that is XPath. So I came here to the fire path. Okay, but let's remember this XPath. Let's remember this HTML code. Here I found that there is one attribute which is different. So you need to find that single attribute which is different. Here I found that this attribute value equal to m is unique. It's different. So what I did here, I said double slash input. This is the basic syntax that you will first of all pass the HTML code. So HTML tag. So here you can see the HTML tag is input. So I'll just pass input double slash input. Then attributes you can pass in the square bracket. So I'll put a square bracket, and the attribute which I remember is different is value. So you have access of HTML code. That's why you know that the attribute which is different is value. So I'll just pass this value, and the value of value attribute is f. Here you can see the value attribute is f, and for male the value attribute is m. So here you will just pass f, and you can see that that particular web element is highlighted. Getting the point, Jason, here? So you will get the HTML code.
Yes.
From HTML code you will get to know which attribute to use here. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's try another attribute. Let's say I want to try other attribute, that is type. So I'll say type equal to radio. This will give me all the radio buttons which are there on the page. Okay. So here you can see there are two matching nodes. Uh, Both are highlighted as well. So let's say you don't have even the value attribute. Then if nothing is there, then the only option left will be this passing number. Okay, so when I passed 1, you can see first is highlighting. When I pass 2, you can see second one is highlighting. So this should be your last option. When nothing is working, then only you should go to uh, uh, indexing, because indexing might change. Okay, like some it may happen that developers one day changes your male to a location of female, and female is changed to a location of male. So again, I'm saying that you can use this index, but try avoiding it. Keep it the last option. If you don't have anything else, then only use this indexing. Okay. So any questions till now? Okay, so if I proceed with it, now let me just quickly fill up this complete form, and then we'll proceed with the next thing in the XPath. XPath is not completed yet. There is lot to learn in XPath. Okay, but this is not the correct time. If I'll teach you everything just straight away, then you'll forget. So we'll go with time. I mean, I'll explain the complete XPath one by one. Okay, so yeah. Let me fill up this complete form in the Eclipse. Okay, just one small thing, like this is something where other than this XPath, everything has name attribute. So can I simply copy paste from somewhere just to save time? Okay, but yeah, I don't have anything. Let me open a project. New, not new, open, export. Sorry, not export. It should be import. Import existing project. Next, browse workspace. Any one of the project. So I'm importing an existing project, and from there I'll just take it out. Okay, there is nothing in this. My bad. What? Here also it's not there. Okay, I'm what? Just give me one more second. I'll import something. Yeah. So from here I'll just take it out, the complete this code. Okay, and there is one thing I have to explain that I'll explain now. So we have filled up. First of all, we clicked on that new customer. After that, filled up name. Then we selected the gender and then filled up date of birth, address, city, state, PIN number, telephone number, then email ID, password, and we'll click on submit button. The only thing is in between, if you'll see, if you look at this form, here we have to fill up this email ID, and the code written for this filling up the form is such that the email ID which we have, it always take a unique value, random and unique value it takes. Here we need to pass some random unique value, something at something.com. Okay, so this is one of the interview question. Interview asks this question, that how can you generate a random unique email ID? Okay, so here, how will you generate a random unique email ID? This is the way. See, I created a variable with name email ID, string email ID. After that, this is some text I'm using. You can put any random text. Okay, then at the end we have at gmail.com. Then in between I'm appending something. What is that? What is something which is always unique? Time is something which is always unique. So there in Java there is a method called, there is a class called system. In that there is a method called current time milliseconds. What does it do? It gives us the time in millisecond. If I hover over it, you can read about it. What it returns? Returns the current time in milliseconds. The time is the difference measured in milliseconds between the current time and the midnight of 1 January 1970. So this value will always be a unique value. We have appended ss and then at gmail.com before and after it, which makes it unique. Okay, so for just to show you, I have just printed this unique email ID and then that email ID we are passing. So what we are doing here, we are just appending some random value with in between this so that it will always generate a random email ID to us. Clear? So this is something which is asked in interviews as well, that how can you generate a random email ID, random number, or anything random. So your answer should be, we can use timestamp, and time in Java we can calculate by a method called system.currentTime milliseconds. Clear? Any questions here? Okay, so if you don't have any question, I'll just save this file, and we will execute this code. So in my demo Guru 99 project, after login, I'll add one more thing, that is guru dot add customer. Let's execute this code. So it is invoking the browser. It has invoked. Let me just take it here. So you can see it has filled up the complete form. Clicked on submit button. As soon as it clicked on submit button, a table appeared. Clear? Any questions? Any questions in the code? Here we have written the complete code to fill up the form. Okay. Next is, if you don't have any questions, I can proceed. So next is, if you see here, this form which has appeared, this form uh, here in one of the row, there is a customer ID in it. Okay, that customer ID has some value. Now I want to know what is this customer ID. I want to fetch this customer ID from this table. Okay, so let me first explain you how a table looks like. Then only we'll proceed with it. Okay. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, so here we had this HTML demo.html page which we created yesterday. Now I'll show you how a table look like, or how a table is created. Okay, so any table has a tag called table, which can have any other attribute, be it ID, name, anything. So for example, it has a name as, let's say, subjects, one ID as subjects. Okay, then that table ends with a table tag only, just like any other HTML tag. So it also ends with this table. Now inside this table we have one known as tbody. So again it ends with a tbody. Okay, now inside this tbody we have, see, this is a table. In the table we have this tbody. Tbody is like the body, like this HTML has a head and a body. Similarly, table can have a t head and a t body. So t head generally have the headings, whereas this t body generally have the main structure, main things. Inside this, to refer a row, we have something known as tr. So starting with tr and then ending a tr. Okay, this, there can be multiple rows. So there can be multiple rows. Then each row has columns. Columns, or you can say cell. Cell are identified with td tag. Let's say I have this td tag, and inside these td tag, again a single row can have multiple tags, multiple tds. So tds are like columns. So say for example, here I'm saying, um, um, okay, so this is my first row. Let's say first row have only the uh, headings. So let's say I'm saying serial number is the first. Then second has is subject. Okay, then let's say here I have subject code. Then I have a subject. Okay, and yeah, then in second row I'll just copy these three TDs. Okay, let's say the first one here, serial number, I'll start with 1. Okay, subject code is, let's say, 001, and subject here I have is, let's say, English. Okay, similarly, I'll just copy paste these three. Okay, let me just copy these three. Here, serial number is 2, subject code is, let's say, 302, and the name is mathematics. Okay, and then last, I'll put, let's say, 3, and here we have uh, what? Hindi. Some random subjects. So when I open the HTML code of this, you will see that when I open this HTML page, open with Firefox. So when you see this, you will see that a table is created. Okay, a table is created with serial number 123, subject code this, subject as this. Okay, why that borders are not coming? They will come when you'll put some CSS or styling in it. Okay, so yeah, styling you can for now let it be there. Okay, but here a typical table is there, that a table has a tag as table. It has tbody as one of the uh, immediate child. In tbody is where you have the complete uh, body. Okay, then we have tr in it. Tr is for rows, and then we have td is for column, and yeah, so on. So this is how a typical table looks like. So any questions on this? Okay, now I'll fill up this complete form so that I can show you that. Just give me a second. Some random ID I put. Click on submit, which is not filled. Okay, so you can see that form is filled up. Okay, now once the form is filled up, here we have this table. This table. This table has many rows. The fourth row has customer ID, where in the second column. Okay, so we need to get this value. So let's see its HTML code. If you look at, it is one of the column of a row. Does this column has any information? No, it does not have even a single information. No attribute, nothing is available here. That means I cannot directly identify this column. So I need to do something else. Okay, so what you have to do is, in this case, whenever you come across a situation where your element cannot be identified directly, then what you'll do, you will identify something which is unique. Like here, if you look at, there is this table which is unique. Then with respect to that table, we will iterate further. Okay, so first of all, I'll just identify this table. So if you see that table, this table we are talking about, it has an ID, and the value of ID is customer. That means this table can be identified with one of the attribute known as ID. So I'll go to this fire path, and here I'll say double slash table, and as soon as I press enter, two tables are highlighted. But which one we want? We want the second one. And what that second one has uniquely, it has an ID, and the value of ID is customer. So I'll just pass that ID. Customer. Okay, I forget to put at symbol. So you can see that table is highlighted. Now, with respect to this table, we have to reach to that particular column. So if I say slash t body, you can see that we have went inside this table and referring to t body now. Then again slash tr, this will give me multiple rows. Then which row we are interested in? We are interested in fourth row. So we'll go to the fourth row. Then slash td, then it will give us both the columns. Which columns we are interested in? We are interested in second column, so I'll just pass 2. So you can see I reached to that particular column. Now if this table is static, is never going to change, then this XPath is stable. But if your columns and rows changes will change, like customer ID is coming into the fourth column, instead if it will start coming into the fifth column, this XPath will break. Okay, so for that, moving up and down or iterating over a table uniquely, that is something which we'll learn later. For now, let's restrict ourselves to static tables where element is fixed. Going forward, we'll also see dynamic tables where rows and columns are changing. Okay, that time we'll see how we can identify that element. But here, this is how you will identify. If you don't have anything unique, then search for something which is unique, and then with respect to that, reach to the element you're looking for. Now here, if you observe that in this table, this t body is a must. It will always be there. So this is not mandatory. I can remove it. Then also I'll reach to the same. Okay. So nothing else I can remove because I know this tr you see, that should always be there. Okay. So yeah, this is how you can identify. If you want to keep the t body, the difference is uh, relative XPath are little slow because they traverse a lot to reach to a particular web element, but they are a better way. Absolute are fast but are not reliable, whereas relative are slow but they are reliable. I'm sorry, just a second. Okay, so that's another thing. Any questions here? Jishan, you have any questions? Sandhya?
No, Sarah.
Yeah, Sandhya.
No,
Okay, and
I'm
you're
good.
saying no. Okay, fine.
No
So,
question.
okay. So I'll just copy this XPath and we'll use in our code. Now after adding the customer, I'll add another method, public string, then get customer, get customer ID. So here we are looking on, like first of all I'll search driver.find by dot XPath, and the expression for XPath we have is this. Sorry, by dot XPath, and the value of XPath is this. Now we have identified this element. What we want to do is we want to get text from it. So I'll just call a method get text. So this will give me the text. I'll receive that in a string variable. So I can say customer ID. So string customer ID equal to driver dot this, and then what we'll do here, we will return this customer ID. Okay, so this return will send the customer ID back. So here uh, when I am using, I'll say string customer ID equal to guru dot get customer ID. Okay, so when I execute this code, okay, I forget to, let me just close it, stop it. I forget to uh, print this customer ID. Okay, so when I execute this, okay, okay. Actually, having two screens. My bad. I just closed it. Sorry. Let me run it again. Right click, run as Java creation. Yeah. So here you can see it has started. Now, first of all, it will fill up the form to add a new customer. Then we have got the customer ID. Okay. So if I come here, you can see customer ID is 48314. So here you can see customer ID is 48314. Clear? So this is how you will add a customer and then get the customer ID. And basically what we learned here is basics of XPath, then how you will iterate over a table using XPath to reach to a particular column. Next topic what we are going to cover will be in this here if you'll see there is an option of new account. So if I click on new account, there is a form to fill and that form has a drop down. So next what we'll learn will be how to handle drop downs. Okay, so that is what I'm going to cover next. Any questions before that?
No.
Okay, so let's have a break now for 7 minutes and then we'll continue with this.
Okay.
So see you after 7 minutes and then we'll continue with the same. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so we can continue now. So before I jump on to creating this new account, let's talk about this drop down. So we saw the table as well. Now let's see drop down also. So I'll just put a break here. Yeah. So how a drop down looks like uh, in an HTML, there is a tag known as select. Okay, that select again can have any attribute, ID, name, something, anything. Let's say I have an ID uh, option, maybe some name, subject. Okay, so this is one select, and here I can simply say this. Okay, now any drop down, if you'll see, it has many options in it, right? So there is a tag known as option, which has a mandatory attribute known as value. That value can be anything. Say for example, I'm having a value 001, and then it also has one it also has something which is visible in the drop down, and that thing which is visible is actually the visible text. Okay, so this is visible text and this is value in our drop down. So if I copy this option, so what as many numbers of option you will add, those will be the values in the drop down. So for example, I change it to 301. This will become mathematics. Okay, here if I'll change it to 031, this will become Hindi. Then what else? I can put 601 for maybe Spanish or maybe French. Okay, and what else? I'll put 807 with some code science. Okay, so these are some options which I've added in a drop down. So if I open the page, we open that page, and if I refresh here, you will see I got a drop down. And if I select this drop down, you have all the options available: English, mathematics, Hindi, French, science. Okay, so how does this happen? This happened because we're using one element known as select. So here also, the one which we have on uh, Guru 99, if you check its HTML code, here you can see that it is also a type of select, which has one of the attribute as name. If I open it, it will have option. Now option will have a mandatory attribute known as value, and then here you have is visible text. Now these two can be same, these two can be different. The one which will be displayed in the screen will be this, and the one which is internally used will be the value. So this is just a visibility. I mean, this is how it will visible in the drop down, and this will be something which can have a relation with a database, or internally your developers might be using it for something, and so on. Okay, so yeah, this is a typical drop down. I mean, HTML code of a typical drop down. Any questions in it? Okay, so moving on, how you will identify uh, it in Selenium. Let's talk about that. So in the Guru 99 project again, after adding the customer, I'll add one more method, public void. Uh, Next is add account. Okay. Now this add account, if you here look at, it takes this customer ID. So whatever customer ID we got from here, we need to pass that here. So I'll just pass that string variable. Okay, now let's add that. So what we'll be doing, driver dot find element by dot, how can we identify this? It has a name as cus id, so I'll just copy this by dot name, and the value of name is cus id. And what you want to perform in it, you have to perform send keys, and the value will be customer id. So this is the customer id which we are passing. So here we will pass the customer id. Then we have this drop down. I want to select a value from a drop down, that is account number. So here it will be driver dot find element by dot. Let's see how this drop down can be identified. So this drop down, if you'll see, has a name cell column. So I'll just copy this by dot name, and the value is this. So this is just an identification. I'll let's say I create a variable for it, web element, uh, maybe cell account. Okay, so I just created a web element. Why I have created a web element? Because as it is a drop down, we need another class known as select. Select, you have to take one from org.openqa.selenium. Remember it. It is one of the most important interview question, that which class is used to deal with drop down. So your answer should be select class is the one which is used to work with a drop down. So just do select, then give any name. Let's say I give a name drop down equal to new select, and okay, and then it asks for the web element which you want to consider as a drop down. So I want to consider this cell account as a drop down, so I'll just select this cell account. Okay, then here it will be, once you are done identifying the element, then we need to know how many methods are there. Okay, so I'll give you all the methods, all the available methods in a drop down, but you might not be using even 70% of others. You might be using only couple of methods in it, but you should know what all are the options available. So let's talk about select options. So if you see, there are three select options. One is select by index, second is select by value, and third is select by visible text. So there are three methods: select by index, select by value, and select by visible text. What is this first one, select by index? So if you look at any drop down, the options which we have, they are in an order: 1, 2, 3, 4. So the way they are visible in the drop down, that order is the index. Again, index here starts from 1, not from 0. So this will be at first index, second to third, fourth, fifth. So if you are selecting the options with respect to the index, then you'll be using that method, select by index. Not a good way, because selecting via index is something which may break, maybe if your orders are changing, or if some kind of sorting is put on that drop down, then your code will break and something like that. Okay, so not a good way. Then we have next option is value. Value is this one. When I know that there is an attribute known as value, so you can use this. This can be used. There is no problem with this value. Okay, then we third one we have is visible text. Visible text is the one which is visible here. This is the most used one because this is the easiest one. For um, for this value attribute, you have to check the HTML code, but for this you don't have to check anything. Sometimes this value can be some random value, can be some GUID, some kind of ID which your developer is generating randomly, or some kind of value which is coming from a database. So they might be difficult to get. Okay, but visible text is the most easiest one, because this is something which is visible to us even without checking the HTML code. So this is the easiest way. So These are three select options. Any questions? So again, I'll be using the third one, and let's say the drop down which I had, it has two options. One is saving and second is current. So let's select the current. So here I'll just pass current. Again, it is a case sensitive, so you have to worry about the case also. I mean, if the first letter is in capitals, keep that in capital. Okay. Uh, but yeah, so we are done here, but let me show you other methods which are available. Like one of the method is multiple. What does this says? Is multiple is a method which verifies whether your dropdown allows multiple selection or not. Because not all dropdown allows multiple selection. But yeah, some of the dropdowns allows multiple selection. So if you are using this is multiple, this method returns a boolean value. So here I'll say boolean uh, multiple selection allowed. Let's say this is a variable name I've put. Now here I'll simply print this is multiple selection allowed. Okay, so this will tell you whether it allows multiple selection or not. Now if a dropdown allows multiple selection, then you can deselect them as well, right? There should be an option of deselecting. So this drop down have four deselect option. First one is deselect all. So if a drop down allows multiple selection, then using this method you can deselect all of them. Then we have an option deselect by index. Deselect by index is again using the index 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have value. So value is the same value attribute. Visible text. Visible text is again the same visible text. So these are four deselect option. And then we have some get options. So there are two get options, rather three get options. Leave the first one. This is from object class. Take the one which is from select class. So one is get options, which returns us all the options in form of a list. List will study later. Then only I'll be able to explain you this get options option. Same as get all selected option. That is, if in a drop down there are multiple options selected, then all of them you can get using this method. And third one, which gives us get first selected option, that is where we get one single option instead of a list. Okay, so yeah, these are three get options which we'll see later, but the most used one is this one only, select by a visible text. And sometimes people also use select by value. Clear? Any questions till now? Okay, so moving ahead, now we know how to select from a drop down. Okay, next is uh, we can write in this initial deposit. Okay, so it is an input with an attribute name, and the value of name is this. So I'll just copy it. So it will be driver dot find element by dot name, and the value of name is this. And what you want to put, send keys, the value can be some random number. Okay, after that I have to click on the submit button. So let's quickly see how the submit button, it has a name as button 2. So I'll just copy this, not this, let's copy till this, and I have to click on it. Name is button 2, so I'll just copy it again. Okay, here I'll click on it. So here, after getting the customer ID, next what we have to do is guru dot add account, and the customer ID is something which will pass the one which we are getting from here. Okay, So I'll execute this code now. Customer could not be added. I don't know why this error has occurred. Let me run it again, maybe some issue with the website. Okay, my bad. I forget to add this option of clicking on new account in the code. So we started directly, but we forget to add that. So let me quickly add that. So driver dot find element by dot link text, and the value of link text is new account, and what you have to do with it is click. So here you can see it's new account. Here I've passed the link text as new account. So now I'll execute it again. Okay, so here I'll execute it again, right click, run as Java application. Okay. So you can see it has added the account as well. So from here you can get the account ID as well. Okay, so any questions in this? Okay, so if I go back here, so if I look at what we have to cover. Introduction to Selenium and its component is done. Setting up environment is done. Mozilla Firefox. There were some issues going on with the Mozilla Firefox. So I mean, I'm not sure whether they are resolved or not. So if they are resolved, I'll show you this. Then Chrome we are done. Internet Explorer is again left. I'll see this. Firebug and Firepath we installed. Then how to locate elements we are working on. Working with links in HTML. For this, I want to teach you first one thing. Okay, one thing known as there are few things which I need to teach you before we jump on to working with links. Mastering XPath. We have started with the XPath, but it will take time for us to learn that. Then working with forms, text box, checkbox, radio buttons, they all are done. Checkbox and radio buttons are quite similar. So the way we selected the radio button is the way we will select the checkbox. Then working with tables, we started with it. Static table we are done. Dynamic we'll learn later. Drop down is something which we saw today. So I have couple of assignments for you now. Then working with list is again, I have to go back to Java, teach you some topics in Java, and then only I'll come back. Okay, so working with dropdown and this locators and identifiers now have, sorry, not this, working with dropdowns. I have few assignments for you. First of the assignment is, go to any e-commerce site, let's say ebay.in. Okay, on this website here, if you look at, we have this uh, text box. So enter any product in this text box, anything, let's say Apple watches, okay, or Apple iPhone, whatever you like. Search, enter that. Then from the drop down, select the desired one, maybe mobile and accessories. Now you know how to work with drop down also. Select that, then click on search button. Click on search button, you get results, but here you also get this listings. Okay, this shows that how many products are there. So just get me this value. Okay, so get me this value, that is Apple iPhone, this listing, what you see. So yeah, this is one assignment. Later on, we'll also see, I mean, going forward when I'll cover up uh, topics like lists in HTML, then also I'll show you how to get value of all the products which are visible here. Okay, so for now, just this is the assignment. Enter the product from the drop down, select any product. Okay, select any category, then click on search button and then get me this results. You can do this in on eBay, or you can do this on Flipkart or Amazon, anyone, whatever you feel. Okay, so for on Amazon also same thing you can do. Here is the search box, here is the drop down, and here is the search button. Okay, select this, enter anything, select from the drop down and click on search button. This is one assignment for you, and whatever products you get me the number of products. So these are two things. Third thing, third assignment which I want you to do is, I mean, this is one assignment. Second assignment I want you to do is, yeah, on Facebook.com. Okay, it opens the Facebook. On Facebook.com, we have this create account option. So fill up this complete form. This will help you in working with text box, also help you in working with drop downs, radio buttons, and so on. So these are two assignments for you. Please complete it, and the assignment which I gave yesterday, that is logging into Facebook. Okay, and you can also complete the Guru99 demo.guru99.com /v4. I guess I have already opened it. Yeah, this one also you can work on. Like after adding the new account, then you can go and edit the account. You can edit the customer ID. Then you can uh, go ahead and do some withdrawals. Okay, you now you know the account number. Just the account number, enter amount, description, and do some withdrawals, do some fund transfer. Okay, once you do all those things, then there is an option of getting the mini statement. So if I just enter this account ID, submit it here. Okay, actually this account is not authorized. Here only I'll get, this is the account number. So I'll go to this mini statement. Here I'll go to this account number, enter this. You will get a mini statement. If you have done some withdrawal, some fund transfer, then this table will be little longer. Okay, once you'll complete all these things, okay, then I'll show you how to iterate over this table and get values randomly, because here you can see the number of rows are not fixed. Here I'm getting one row. If you do some of the withdrawals, number of rows will increase. If you do some fund transfer, then also number will increase. Okay, so this is assignment for you. Any questions?
Do we get the this assignment in instruction like in writing or?
Only this Guru 99 one is not there in writing. Everything else is there in here. So just go to QA TechHub assignments. Complete assignment number 1, 2, 3, and 4th. fourth one first half. So like this fourth one has many things. You just have to complete till search button, this part. Okay, the remaining one, okay, this one. Till this you have to complete in the fourth assignment. So whatever I mentioned are there. For Guru 99, you can either remember or I'll just write it down and will send you. What you have to do is after logging in, first of all, new customer. That is already done from me, but I want you to do it. New customer, then new account, then do some deposit, do some withdrawal, do some fund transfer. Okay, then after that, go to mini statement and get the mini statement. That's all. That's what you have to do. Okay.
Okay. So we
Okay.
have so
Yeah.
many assignments, like assignment 2 for Java, the Selenium.
Uh,
Busy day. No worries.
okay.
We'll
So
work hard on that.
you have 1 week. I'll recommend Java. You may. I mean, if you are not able to complete the Java, then it's fine. Not good, but yeah, fine. But if you'll not do the Selenium, then you might face challenges later on. So probably it's better if you can start with these four assignments, or at least do two of the one. I mean, two of these. Uh, they'll not take much time, and you'll get an interest as well because Java is again little boring. Yeah, this one is little interesting. So go ahead and
Okay.
complete these
I'll
assignments.
take this one first. Selenium.
Yeah, complete these first, and then if you get time, you can complete the Java one as well.
Okay. No worries. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay, Sandhya, you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, so then I end the session here because I have little work also, and the thing is I have to go back to Java now. So probably next class we'll go back to Java, and we'll also discuss your assignments. So if you'll have any queries within that week, send out mail, and next week I'll give you half, extra half an hour for your doubts. Anyways, you can take any day, but yeah, specifically I'll will discuss in the next class. Okay, and one more thing, I'll make these videos private now because all the free videos till now, whatever video I uploaded, they were free, but from going forward I'll make them private. So yeah, as both of you have said that you'll pay in some couple of days, so it's fine. I'll keep all you three added in the video, but after that, I mean, I'll add you once your fees will be paid. Okay. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining. See you next weekend, and we'll continue from here.
So
Thanks.
can you
One
tell
thing,
me?
Saurabh.